I think that Rita is one of the most outstanding individuals among the new generation of Georgian artists.
It can be said that Rita is a real phenomenon, not only in Georgian painting, but also in world art.
One of the most notable aspects of Rita's work is her powerful imagery, which distinguishes her paintings and possibly makes her a unique figure among contemporary artists. It is well known that contemporary art of 20th and 21st centuries is characterized by an image crisis. The same does not apply to Rita's work. An image in her work is always one that stays with you, one that you remember, one that, with its drama, tragedy, and unconventionality, haunts you for a long time. Rita's imagery is characterized by high artistic expression. The viewer is astounded on the one hand by her imagination, and on the other hand by her absolutely uncompromising approach towards the subject matter. Rita offers a comprehensive picture of the world, with micro and macro worlds coexist. There are no large or small, more or less important themes in her works. Everything is presented as a whole. Rita's artwork is a work of question. It makes us ask ourselves certain questions that we seem to have hidden from ourselves for a long time, as if it opens a kind of Pandora's box within us and forces us to think about things that we have not thought about for a long time or have not even contemplated at all. In this regard, I'm particularly interested in the work where the image is not clear. Since the image expressiveness is extremely high in Rita's work, there are always visual images that are not represented using the method of realistic art, but with clearly visible, strongly figurative forms. At the same time, there are works where the image is vague and we're unable to identify it. In other words, the image is presented on the verge of visible and invisible. Rita's paintings often feature monochrome tones. There may only be the color green present, but many shades of green. We know that an artist's eye perceives many more shades than the eye of an ordinary person. Rita's works serve as an excellent example of this. She offers a very rich palette even when the work appears to be monochrome. The detailing that Rita achieves in her works is reminiscent of, for example, the indigenous painting tradition of the Quattrocento. It's difficult to avoid the association, and perhaps one shouldn't, since it is more likely one of the subtexts. What does the detailing actually connote? A desire to tell the truth. In other words, the detailing that the Quattrocento artists applied at the time was precisely the desire to relate as much as possible and as correctly as possible about the subject, so as not to miss anything. On the one hand, this could be the context, but on the other, this is her broad view of the world in which everything has its place, including those details that reveal something larger and more general. Childhood is a brief period, but it is emotionally very loaded and unbalanced. It provides a lot of information that you put on the shelf and which later comes back to you. I always strive for solitude. In that way, thinking is easier. I spent my whole childhood training in being lonely, which made me cherish solitude. The work I do now, painting, has helped me in this. The Batonebi series is directly related to my childhood. One of my childhood memories was a bush in the forest that was decorated with the red ribbons, fruits, and colorful candies. I always wondered what it meant. It was explained to me later that this was the tree of Batonebi. I interviewed different people to find out how they viewed the lords and was told a lot of very interesting tales. The narratives that I heard prompt me to produce these sculptures. I imagined producing them in form of the objects rather than as paintings. Each painting possesses its own emotion. There are work that can be produced in a day, in a few hours, but suddenly you throw it away and you become empty. You have to be released from this theme. There are paintings that require working for 7 months or even a year. Every work has its own pace and each of them contains the emotion relevant to it. There is even a story that connects me with this forest. I befriended a fox that would eat from my hand. After some time, the fox disappeared. I hope there was no human intervention in the occurrence. Every space has its own field and aura that one perceived will always remain with you. This is characteristic for the forest and in any space whatsoever. Humans are designed to apply a routine to everything. Actually, any space, even the workshop or the house where you live, does not contain routine, because so many things change very quickly, even in such a closed space. Yet, we see everything as routine, then run away from the space and look for some new one. The new space might be a forest for some, or another location for others. In my case, I still prefer to be in contact with nature, but less often these days. I tend to spend most of my time in the workshop. To be honest, I'm not the kind of person who goes outdoors to do everything. The pace of life is so fast that you'd probably have to take the forest and valleys with you. Rita has created unforgettable images. One of the first strong impressions that I got from her artwork was the series Morphology. This exhibition was deeply impressive. It was a black and white exhibition with large, remarkably powerful canvases.
The second exhibition really amazed me. This exhibition was called Fear and featured uncommonly imposing canvases with phantasmagorical figures.
Rita is a free-spirited artist who utilizes a variety of media. Rita creates sculptures, video art, and is also an exceptional photographer. As a result, all media are organic for her. I believe that Rita's art has reached a significant turning point with an exhibition, Serengeti. Serengeti draws parallels with people's lives because it is an endless field through which one person passes at some point. This precise point in time is extremely important to us, and we call it life. This exhibition is dedicated to numerous significant themes, one of which the author herself highlights in the concept, life and death, subject matters that form the origins of existence. It's natural that painting and the fine arts generally take an interest in it, but Rita has presented a new perspective, the process of life caught between the great phenomena of birth and death. The process of life, actually a process of death, that is, a life which implies gradually dying and is full of tales of death. Life revealed in death, through which it acquires a completely different dimension of values. For this, Rita has staged a highly varied show and delves deeply into the many facets of life and death, which are often dialogical, often conflicting, and which span a vastly broad spectrum of human existence. The theme of mother is essential and is also mentioned by the author in her concept. However, when I look at this particular work, which is dedicated to the mother, it is also dichotomous and mutually exclusive. Mother, the giver of life, serves as a personification of the life cycle. Together with her, we can see dead birds, a life-affirming symbol that in itself implies death. During my stay in Czech Republic, I visited Prague Cemetery, which was rather impressive. It was like a celebration of life. It seemed like a huge field to me. The name of the series Serengeti emerged from the experience, and the current exhibition was named after it. The cemetery was like a second Czech Republic, a second Prague without the people who had created the soul of the city. The theme itself is very broad and covers a wide range of subjects, including death, life, and human involvement, their role, their confusion, and unanswered questions, as well as the degree to which an individual is involved, how much one experiences, shares, and how much one sees the world in general. There's no time for sleep here. Rather, there's only time for vigilance. Maybe one should spurn sleeping.